What's up, everybody? It's Jonathon Davis from Korn, and you're watching Moshcam. My early influences were, I mean, from when I was 3 years old. The thing that started me off wanting to be a musician was Andrew Lloyd Webber's Jesus Christ Superstar. I was 3 years old, and my parents did a local version of it in Bakersfield, and it really meant a lot to me because it's a fucked up story. My father was in the orchestra, my mother was one of the dancers in it, and my mother left my father for fucking Judas. And Judas, the guy who played Judas, ended up being my stepdad. Still my stepdad to this day. He straight Judas to my fucking mom for my dad. So it's just fucking a crazy ass story. So that shit was just dug into my head since I was little. So I remember being 3 years old and they were having rehearsals at the house. And also my dad played in bar bands his whole life. So I started gigging with him. My first instrument I learned was when I was 3 years old. I started playing drums. So the time I was 5 or 6, the bars used to let me in and play a couple songs with them, because we jam at the house together. And I just remember that since then, I mean, my early influences were like Andrew Lloyd Webber, my dad, and shit like that. But then I started getting into, I mean, high school, it was definitely The Cure, fucking Duran Duran, all the 80s new romantic shit. And then I started getting into darker shit with like Skinny Puppy, Ministry, more of the industrial wax track shit. And then like my all-time fucking hero, and it took me just until about like a year ago to figure out that I really didn't, was Rick James. That guy was the fucking rock star. There's not going to be another man like that, dude. Every rock star in the world should strive to be that motherfucker, because he just did not give a fuck. He dressed in hip boots. He didn't give a fuck. He had chicks, snorting coke, burning bitches, going to fucking jail for that. Like the story I told you, shit like that. It was just decadent beyond anything. He's like the king in my eyes. So he's a huge influence on me now. But I mean, all kinds of music from and then when I started DJing when I was 16, so it was all, you know, early dance music, and industrial stuff. And, I mean, just a whole gamut of shit. Everything but heavy metal music. I didn't start listening to metal music until I got in Korn. And that was so beautiful about it. I really didn't listen to anybody. I didn't try to emulate anybody. I just had my own thing. It was because I listened to so many different, just the contrast between that heaviness and what I was into as a kid. It just worked. It was strange. I mean, I remember walking in and the guys looked at me and Reggie's, I don't know if this is gonna work out, because I had big hoop earrings, makeup, fucking, I was wearing a velvet cat suit and shit. I was like, this androgynous, like, am I a guy or a girl kind of thing. That was my vibe in the beginning. And then as time went on, I morphed into the Adidas suit wearing guy. But before that, I was totally like a new wave kid. I was fucking nervous as fuck, but I just closed my eyes and sang, and they loved it, and I got the gig. Because before Korn, there was a band Creep. It was them, and there was more like happy funk kind of stuff. And the singer he sounded exactly like Lane Stanley, Alice in Chains. So it needed for me to come and not to sound like stuck up or anything, but it needed some darkness, something different. And then me stepping in it, like everything just went, and it worked.
Brixton, get the fuck out! Boy, something on the nigga who. Boy, something's like boy. Boy, something on the nigga who. Boy, something's like boy. Boy, something on the nigga who. Boy, something's like boy. Boy, something on the nigga who. Boy, something's like boy.
They were like, who's this fucking crazy guy? I mean, I remember James and Brian are the ones that found me. I was singing in another band in a local bar in Bakersfield. And I remember I got a call from another band, this guy, from Too Lazy to Steal, was another local band in Bakersfield. He goes, hey, this guy's in LAPD. That's how I knew him. Why don't you try out for the band? I was like, oh God. So I went down there and tried out, and we loved it. I mean, I think working with Ross was awesome. He gave me the confidence just to let out my shit. I don't think he'd ever seen anything like that before, because I was coming in there all fucking freaking out on shit, and he just rolled with it. And I think that just kickstarted his style of guerrilla producing, I call it. It's not a fun guy to work with. He's an amazing guy, and I love him to death. I love Ross. He's my boy. But doing the first record, and especially Korn 3, he really fucked me up on Korn 3. I regressed. I had to go back to psychiatrist and get all kinds of meds and all kinds of shit, because he was bringing up shit I didn't want. I was older. I don't want to do that no more. But that was his thing, and it was the confidence he gave me, and it was okay to express my feelings, and I just roll with it. And I think that first record we did we were all learning. Ross, us, we all came up with this thing together, and then Ross took off and went and did the style he found himself. So it was kind of like we all figured it out together. I really didn't know what I was doing, and I think that was the magic of it, because I had no set ways of how things were supposed to be done. I didn't. That was not an option. So I really came out coming into my own and finding my own style. And here I am, fucking 11 records later, and still doing it, and I'm still finding new shit. I love it. I love what I do. No one had ever heard a fucking band like Korn before. We were the first, not the first, but we were down to the weight. It was so heavy. No one had heard that sound before, and no one had saw some skinny, tweaked out fucking kid crying and freaking out on stage. And then top it all off, I come out with bagpipes, and then these people are like, oh, what the fuck? At that time, I mean, now everybody's used to it, but at that time, people were like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This guy's playing bagpipes now, and the stuff that we, you know, from that early records, we were so influenced, and it wasn't normal bands we were influenced by. We owe everything to Cypress Hill. I mean, that all the signature Korn came from us biting those sax lines and like, we're going out like that. We're going out, you know that. We're from us being influenced by that. So it came from a different place, from anything from the Chili Peppers, mixing Chili Peppers and the Far Side and Sepultura and Cypress Hill and all kinds, House of Pain, all kinds of shit. And it just came into this different style of music. We had no idea. It just happened. We weren't trying to think about it, and we still to this day don't think about how we're going to do a record. It just happened. I'm so blind. Because it's real. That's all I can say is it's real. It's something that our music touches you on an emotional level too, not just, okay, that rocks. I think it really sucks you in, and people can relate what I'm singing about. And plus, it's a really aggressive music at times and really pretty at times. So you get the whole gamut of emotions. It's an emotional roller coaster, I think. If I could tour with any band in the world, it would be Led Zeppelin. They had an undeniable groove. They were, I mean, I'm not trying to compare Korn to Led Zeppelin, but at that time they weren't a metal band. They weren't any. They had their own kind of groove and thing going on. And I feel I can relate to that, because when we came out, we had our own thing up, and there was nobody like us. And still to this day, there was no one like us. Every time I go to like big metal festivals and shit, I feel like a dildo in the salad, is always how I said. Like, I don't fit in with those people. I love them to death, but I never had a connection. But I love metal music because they accept everybody. It's not to diss them, I just never really connected, you know. But they're the best fans in the world. I've always thought we were something else. There were so many different elements involved. There's hip hop, funk, fucking everything, not just, you know, going for it. So we got to keep one step ahead always and do different things. that was just a natural evolution. We just started doing different shit, and that blew up. Then we did Issues, which was more of like concept kind of thing with the interludes, and then that went. Then we did Untouchables, which was crazy different. And it's always evolved. And then we went back old school because a lot of people were tripping on it, and that's when we did Take a Look in the Mirror. And then after that, Head left, and so we had to do something different. We wanted to do something different, and that's when we did, you know, See on the Other Side and Untitled were really experimental. And what was after that? Untitled, and we did Korn 3, and then I go, we need to change up something drastically, and that's when I got more into the EDM thing, and we did Path Totality. That was just groundbreaking on all fronts, because at that time no one really mixed heavy music with electronic music with that, you know, dubstep kind of stuff music. The whole thing with Head, I mean, it sucked when he left, and I was mad, I was hurt, I fucking hated his guts. How can you leave it? You're my family. It was like losing a family member, really. And to lose it to fucking Jesus, that pissed me off, because my dad got turned out. I was raised in church. I worked as a funeral director, so I dealt with the clergy all the time. I know how fucking twisted and fucked up that whole scene is. And I was like really pissed off that they stole my boy. So I was angry at him, at Christianity, everything. And when it came back down, I kicked back and I just looked down and go, you know what, him doing that, he needed to do that to save his life. If he didn't do that, he wouldn't be here. So when he came back, it was a blessing. I just miss him. And then coming back was a little weird. Me and him had some friction, of course, because things are all so different, but I really liked it. It was good to have a brother back. Now that he's back and we're all used to each other again, it's amazing. But when he first came back, it was like he never left. I really missed him a lot. It's just like, that's why we never replaced him. I mean, the only person that ever took his spot, whoever played, was Skrillex. Because I think Sonny deserved it because he was in from First Live. He was a huge Korn fan, and I'm like, nobody deserves except Sonny, you can play with us on stage, you know what I'm saying? So that was like the only guy that ever took his spot. I think that with Head and Field DB and Christian, I think it's wonderful because it saved their lives. My views, I love everybody, I don't judge. I got Satanist friends, I got Christian friends. I don't judge, but I like to keep balance. I mean, I'm more towards the dark side. I lean more towards Satanism, not that hail Satan about real Satanism. It's about, you know, worshiping yourself and keeping your circle of loved ones tight, people that deserve your love, get your love, that kind of thing. And it's helped me in my life immensely. I'm not saying I'm a Satanist and I said one quote one time, I'm a Satanist Christian, because I believe in both. I believe in balance. The universe works that way. So I think it's a good, I got them, and with me, it balances shit out. But I don't hate on the religion or anything. I just really had problems on Christians trying to force, you know, shit down people's throat. I think that's what's left such a bad taste in people's mouth. But I love those two have something spiritual that they believe in, it keeps them good, and I'm good with what I do, and we all get along. It's great. I stand behind the whole album because there was a lot of different things. I mean, that was a really tough time for me. I just kicked. I mean, they went in the studio in August of that previous year, and I didn't get in the studio until February, March, because I was in rehab kicking an opiate, or not opiate, benzo addiction, like Valium, Xanax, shit like that, because of all my anxiety problems. So when I got out, it was in a long and extended. I got through the shakes and the seizure shit, but my mind wasn't right. So I did that whole record just floating and just kind of fucked up. And so it was really special for me, the whole thing. So every single one, and plus it's with Head coming back, and he really wanted to do just a rock record, and I was like, no man, we got to keep it fresh. And so me and him butted heads a little bit, and there was a little bit of friction there, but I liked it because we both compromised, and the end product was amazing. So every single fucking song on that, I'm proud of. Issues was the first record I did sober. And ever since that, it's been amazing to me. I became a singer on Issues. I really started to hone my craft. I was so fucked up the other times. Like, I remember when we did Follow Leader, our alcohol budget, we spent $60,000 in alcohol. $60,000 in alcohol making that record. I think it was 4. It's ridiculous amount of fuck I drank, and everybody drank, and all the excess and the fucking bullshit. It was ridiculous. I mean, the stories I could tell you, like, about, it's on that record. It's on. I was in the room and there was 3 couples fucking around me, having sex. I mean, it was just the epitome of just being a rock star. That was that quintessential moment when I did that record. But after that, Follow Leader, that's when I got sober, and then that shit didn't mean anything to me anymore. Because I was like trying to be a rock star, what I thought a rock star should be. And then I figured out, I don't need to be, I can be anything I want to be. And that's when I got sober. I couldn't do it anymore, because I got to the point where I would get on the bus and my whole band would leave. They wouldn't get on the bus until we were rolling, and I was passed out in my bunk because I was such a bad drunk. So it was good. I had to stop or I was going to be dead. And it just took them longer. But now that we're all fucked sober, the music's getting just better and better and better. I always say I worry about you, but you can't ever tell anyone that's an addict to stop until they're ready. And so all of them had to hit rock bottom, and each of them had their time and did it. And I remember when each one did it. I remember defining moments that made, okay, I can't drink no more, I gotta stop this shit. And it's made them way better people. I don't regret one fucking thing, because that's why I'm still here, because all the things that happened. And it worked out for everybody, because the head got in too deep and he had to go away for 8 years and get his life on track, but he's alive. Thank God none of us in our band have died. Unfortunately, Shane, our twin guitar player, just passed, and that killed me, and that, things happened. And so I'm happy that everybody got their shit together and is sober and happy now. I don't know. I can't comprehend. I don't remember most of it. All I know is, like, I went in the studio and I moved out of my house. I moved into the studio, into this fucking hovel of a room. The studio was built in 1936, and it's just this broken down old movie theater that Buck Owens refurbished and made a studio, and that's how I have. But I just stayed up in that room, and I had my sons stay with me. They were my little producers and inspired me, because it was amazing, because my dad had that studio. First Buck had it, and Buck gave it to my dad. So my dad had it for 25 years. I remember being a little kid watching my dad and Buck in there recording in that same studio. So to have my sons in there watching me record, it was a fucking trip. I'm looking at, so they inspired me so much. If you see in the reconciliation at the end, you'll see them in there, and they were just amazing. I wouldn't have been able to done it without them. They pushed me along. So I guess having my babies there really helped, because I couldn't be a punk in front of my kids. I'm their hero. I can't fuck up. I just think it's a well-rounded record. Everything, all the elements of it, the singing, the guitar playing, everything, it's just top-notch. I think we all butted heads, and we needed to do that, and it was meant to be that. And also having Don Gilmore, he's an amazing, amazing producer. And he's the corniest fucking yuppie white boy I've ever met, but he's talented. And I really mean him. At first, he was just really standoff and hard. I kind of worked, I couldn't get in to his head. So I sicked my sons on him, and he started opening up and playing with him and teaching him how to play golf and shit, and then it was over from then. I go, oh, Don, and I call him Don Mega, and ever since then he loosened up, and we had a good time and made that record work. Because he doesn't have kids, he doesn't know anything about it, so it was a crash course. And it was awesome having him there fucking with them, and he was showing Zeppy how to tune vocals, because he was so interested in that. And the whole process, it was awesome to see the guy light up like that. And we just had a blast working together. It is for this one, yeah. Because I was in a very dark place and they were my light. I can't believe it's been 20 years. I mean, I remember moving down to Huntington from Bakersfield, busting my ass. I mean, I had a full career. I worked at a funeral home. I was a mortician, and I worked the nights at the coroner's office doing autopsies. So, I mean, I had a career. I was fed. I just left that all because I wanted to be a musician. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Was that question? I banged my head for 20 years. Sorry. Oh, the 20 years. So, the whole thing, just seeing it, I'm like, I'm going to try this to see if it goes well. You know, most bands last 5 years, but here I am 20 years later. And I don't see any signs of stopping. We're just getting better with age, too. We're just getting better and better each time. Dude, I always got shit up my sleeve. That's why I'm always writing with this shit, and I'm always pushing the boundaries and trying to find new stuff and new things. And yeah, I got another band called Killbot that I'm doing some crazy new, different type shit. You gotta hear. I'm gonna be playing for these kids pretty soon. Yeah, my passion in life is to make different types of music because everything is so stale and the same. And I look at my kids and they got, oh, I got this song, I love this song on my iPod. There's a whole generation of kids that don't know what it's like to go to a record store or hang out in a record store and all that. And I miss that. Or don't know what MTV is, you know, the real music videos and all that shit. It's just, so it's my passion to try and bring some sort of integrity back to music, I guess, how it used to be.
I'm so blind.